Now we're recording. Now my mic's not muted. So, hey, what's up, everyone? Gambit Overlord here, back again with another little quick video. And kind of want to talk about something that's kind of in the Destiny space right now because we are 4 days into the season. If I'm correct. 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay, 5 days into the season. And within the first day, it feels like there was a big talk about how different all this stuff was. Um, Now, what I'm going to say might seem a little different than what majority of people are saying. Um, One, I'll say I really enjoyed the Lightfall campaign. The legendary difficulty was just where I thought it should be for a difficulty, especially as a person playing it solo. I thought it was really good. I enjoyed the challenge. I enjoyed what you had to do. I enjoyed the fact that you had to switch up kind of how you did most of the things. Now, did it have some moments where I was like, oh god, this sucks? Well, yeah, it did. And I think the part that sucked the most about it was there were moments when, even now still, when you're swinging around and you're doing all this damage, your game will crash because you're doing all these things. Now, do I think that that can be remedied? Sure. Yeah, of course. Everything can be remedied. But I don't think we're at the point where um, I don't think we're at the point where it's a thing of great need that the community has to be all, well, I can't do this because of this. Now, to me, I feel there's definitely room to say that um, it's not going to be the best DLC that we've ever gotten. So far, the best DLC so far that we've gotten have been Witch Queen and Forsaken. Witch Queen added the change in Void 3.0. It added Legendary Campaign. It gave us some more answers. It gave us answers that we needed, but it gave us more answers. I feel that with Forsaken, it started to unravel the mystery behind everything. You know, it showed more of stuff in the light, showed more and stuff in the dark. Um, but I also want to say that with um, with that being said, we can't forget the one most crucial part about what we learned in Lightfall. Is we learned the veil, when the witness enters it, is able to do something to the traveler. And now, whatever's going on in the traveler, we don't know what to expect. We don't know what disciples are in there with the witness. We don't know what's going on with the witness. The veil was something that we had heard about, but never really knew and saw. And then we saw it, and we're like, the veil. If the veil is on Neptune, and the traveler's on Earth, and the witness came from the far reaches of the universe, what are we dealing with? What are all three of them? I know a lot of us wanted to have the, well, this is this, and this is that, and this is why this. Like, sorry, but that's for the season, for this season and beyond, to have more answers. So I think if we just give it time and let the story kind of unravel itself, we'll find a lot of questions. But that's just that part. The next point I have is something that, again, as the Gambit Overlord, this is Gambit is my game mode. It is the reason for a lot of things, you know, because I even have the little beanie that has the snake. Um, but I want to say this with with um Gambit, it definitely, with no mention of Bungie for anything Gambit related, besides here's the trust hand cannon. We gave it to you. We might add more. We don't know. We don't know what we want to do with Gambit yet. Um, I don't think Gambit is in at all a good spot. Um, as you saw when we gilded our dredgen, they made it too easy for you to gild. You know, oh, you only had to get final blows with a weapon, and that was gilding was done, and okay, cool, it's gilded. You know, it used to be you had all the stuff. You had to get the one weapon, then you had to get the invasions, then reset, kill invaders, get golden company, and then gild the thing with the wind tracker. That's what you had to do. Um, you know, they didn't change the conqueror. What glorious is? Where's glorious? Curse breaker, flawless. Seriously, where is it? They didn't sunset, did they? No, that wasn't broken. Oh, here it is. Where is glorious? Oh, yes, here it is. Glorious. So the Gilded, they've increased all the stuff. You know, achieve the Platinum series, achieve Platinum placement in the Adept division. With any glaive, defeat Guardians with in Crucible. Defeat X amount of Guardians in Crucible. Valor rank reset. Win matches, competitive contributes more. Complete objectives using strands, void, or solar. Complete each unique game type. All this stuff that they added to make people have it. I don't think it's, you know, I don't think it's a good thing to kind of just be like, we made it really easy for you to do everything possible to get triumphs that, or titles that are easy. Now, I'll say this now before people get butthurt about what I'm about to say about Gambit. Okay? I play PvP. You've seen PvP. Okay? I play PvP. I know what it's like to not have the game mode be talked about and fixed. And yes, there are things that need to be fixed in Gambit or in Crucible. Connection times, matchmaking, weapon types just going crazy. I mentioned this in my video when I talked about how it feels that hand cannons need to be reined in. Especially with so many hand cannons that are going to be coming back. Trust is back. There's a new 120 that you can get from fucking Nimbus. It can be crafted. You can make your god roll. I think the community forgets what Bungie hands over to them. What Bungie gives to them. What Bungie makes them feel that here we are. This is what we get. Ta-da. Because Bungie gives us a lot. They do. They give us great campaign. They give us more storytelling, new subclasses, workarounds, fixes, raids to do, new weapons to grind for. And as much as people get upset about the whole weapon grind and light grind, the Bungie's finally seen that, okay, yeah, maybe we shouldn't do this every single season. Make a light level grind. You know? Allow some people to play their other characters, catch those characters up, get them to the point where they're, doing good. Now, let me say this. There's one thing that Bungie doesn't do. And that's keep up with all the game modes. And I know it's hard. That's why they're trying to hire people. It's why they're trying to focus down, get one big thing done, and get that wrapped up in a nice little package. Be like, here you go. We have harder level content now. Okay, the PvE side's happy. Okay, cool. Now let's get the PvP side happy. Okay, the PvP side's happy. Well, maybe now we can focus on Gambit. And I want that to happen. I want Gambit to have like a season that it did during Joker's Wild. Because I think it was a really good season. There was a lot to do. You could do PvP. Yeah, sure, you do PvP. You do PvP after you get these Gambit weapons. You try them out. You find out they're good. Because there's so many good ones. Like, legitimately, okay, let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at what Gambit weapons that we had. Let's see, Joker's Wild. Was there an auto rifle? Yeah, there was. Where is it? The Breakneck. This auto rifle was so good. More stacks of Rampage meant increased fire rate. It would ramp up to like a 720. It would frickin' rip. It had the Gambit wrap on it. It had the little... it was perfect. And people didn't like it because people were getting Rampage stacks. And they're like, oh, well, And at the same time, let's take a look at what other guns were good. We had Nine Hunger that was really good. Rain Nail was probably one of the best auto rifles to get. You had a Misfit, Euro's Gift, blah, blah, blah. But it was still a good gun in... There were still good guns in Gambit. Breakneck was probably one of the best. We haven't seen a gun like Breakneck in kind of a while. Let's see, were there any scout rifles? Oh, I think this was a Crucible one, I believe. No. Yeah, this was a Crucible one. Randy's throwing knife. This was great in Gambit. It was great in PvP. Breakneck was good in PvP. Blast Furnace, Bygones, Redrick's Broadsword. Those were the pulse rifles that people used in PvP and Gambit because they were so good. You use a Blast Furnace until you got a Bygones. You got to use the Bygones until you had enough to get the Redrick's Broadsword. When you had the Redrick's Broadsword, you were doing amazing. That's just kind of how things were. Now you get, the Auto Wind, which is just, I feel like it's just like a it's just a nightshade, but without the whatever. Hand cannons. I mean, Trust. Spare rations, like those guns. People grinded Joker's Wild to get a spare ration so they could use it because, again, whenever streamers want to have a freaking hand cannon, that's the best. They'll play any game mode until they get that one roll they want. Trust. When 180s were good, but now everyone's like, oh, well, it's only 120s. Gotta use 120s. 120s, 140s, they hit harder. But yeah. Dire Promise, Spare Rations, Trust. All those were good. Some machine guns. Exit Strategy. This was a gun you got from doing Gambit. You had the different Gambit stuff. You had this. It had Swashbuckler, which was good. Threat Detector, Surrounded. Underdog is still kind of meh. Ricochet round, stability, all that. Like, it was good. We got good. Pillager, I mean, it was okay. Anti-Op D, people like to use Hard Truths. I know some people used. Sidearms, really the only sidearm that was really useful in old school Gambit Prime, was honestly, Lonesome. If you were a sidearm user and you wanted one, there you go. I mean, bows. Fuck, where is it? A lot of people wanted to get Point of the Stag from Iron Banner. That's what a lot of people did there. I don't think there was Hush. This was a Gambit gun. It fire grants a massive draw speed bonus. You'd hip fire, then you shot it out. Shotguns. Let's take a look at shotguns that people were using back then. Of course, you had this. Oh, they brought back the Imperial Decree shotgun. A lot of people used Ikilos. Last Man Standing. This gun was good when it was out. Of course, people were using Mindbenders, but Mindbenders is back. Python was an okay one. It wasn't the best. I think if it came now with these perks, I think it'd be good for Titans. No, God, this shotgun, when you got it all the time, you enjoyed it. Haven't gotten Wristwalker's Electro Cousin yet. But yeah, I mean, grenade launchers? Oh boy, grenade launchers. Honestly, not a lot that people were using because we had other guns to use. Frick, fusion rifles? Aerontil? Main ingredient? For so long, those two were great fusion rifles. And then they got sunset, but then some got brought back. I mean, Snorri became really good. Plug 1, Cartesian, Null Composure, Glacial Chasm. And you got Glacial Chasm back. You got Aerontil's Stasis Cousin. We got more of them. Oh god, snipers. When snipers were good in Gambit, in PvP, you knew it. I mean, you just knew. I mean, you had things like a single clap was good. Tartarus Gaze was good. Show of Force was kind of okay. ISO, they brought that back in Trials. Tranquility. That was what I used before I got Revoker. Bio the Fox. They brought back Beloved. Revoker was the best sniper. Long Shadow was really good. Soul Survivor was really good. Trophy Hunter was okay. Then they added some new snipers. They brought back Silicon Romeo, which is good. Defiance of Yasmin's here. We got the Beloved back. But really, okay, so we have a Strand and a Stasis sidearm now. One's a 140, one's a 72. I gotta get one with a better zoom. I mean, trace rifles, we really didn't get a lot of legendary trace rifles. So, it's hard to tell how that was in Gambit Prime. Glaives are the same thing. Heavy? You use a sword just because you wanted to use a sword. It didn't matter what it was back then. You just used a sword to use it. But if you were using a sword and it wasn't following guillotine and you were trying to do DPS, that vortex frame was so good. Grenade launchers, everyone was getting edge transit. So, and edge transit is just tearing wind, but shaded different. And we had that. And now we got all these other grenade launchers, which, I mean, it's fine. Rocket launchers? Really? Bad Omens was really the big rocket launcher I saw during those days. Linears? Crooked Fang. Crooked Fang and Line in the Sand. That's what you used until you got Komodo. Once you got Komodo, these kind of went away because of how this was set up. I mean, no distractions and box breathing with a charge time. Yeah. Machine guns? God, machine guns. I remember them. Hammerhead, 21 Delirium, Fixed Odds. You used the heck out of these. So there was a lot of good guns in Destiny. When we had Gambit Prime. But now for me to talk about what I think Bungie needs to do with it. Because it's clear that they're not doing anything with it right now. So here's what I suggest. You take Gambit, where you have it right now. You keep it how it is. Keep it how it is. But take out invasions. Take out the invasion portal. And see what your game mode is like. See what it's like when people can't go and invade. See what the game mode turns into. See how much of that heavy use is used on primevals and ad clearing. And then see how much is used, and then have one where it's the regular Gambit. Look at that difference. Compare those notes on how much game time changes with that being a thing. Which is something you should do because, let's take a look at the Gambit directory. For those that don't know what it looks like because you never touched the game mode, this is what the Gambit directory looks like. You go into Gambit, oh look, it's freelance. Or regular Gambit. Or a private match. Let's take a look at Crucible. Oh, we got competitive, we got quick play, we got a private match, we got Rumble, we got Rift. Oh, when Trials returns, we're going to have this here. Huh. Oh, what's the Vanguard one look like? Oh, Vanguard Ops. Oh, Nightfall. Oh, Grandmasters. That'd be fun to play. Oh, I want to go to the moon. Oh, I have a bunch of things to do. Nessus. Oh, look, I have a bunch of shit I could do. Dreaming City. Look at all this. Go to the tower. Where can I go? Oh, I got things here. I can check all this out. Oh, Cosmo. I could go here. Go do all this shit. EDZ. Go here. Got Helm. I got Neptune. Europa, Seven to the Stone World. Here's the Traveler with his fucking Pink Floyd pyramid going on. But look at then let's take a legend. Let's see. We got a raid, another raid, and a dungeon, and then there's Gambit. This is what I mean. Give us something to test in Gambit. Give us something to test. Because we want to see new things in there. Because everyone talks about, oh, Gambit's boring, they're not doing anything with Gambit, they should just delete it. They should do something with it. Make a game mode. Make a test thing for it. You have all this space, you can input something here to test out. You could have Gambit in the freelance Gambit, move here, private matches you just make smaller and put it in this fucking corner. But have something for us to test. Have... hey, we really want to try out something different than Gambit. This is what we're thinking. We're thinking about doing Gambit with no invasions. Your heavies will spawn at fronts, and here's what's going to happen. And this is what's going to happen. But every time an enemy team clears an envoy, a set of envoys, they will spawn 2 goblins and a phalanx. At each one, and then after 3, the phalanxes turn into knights, and one of the goblins turns into a phalanx. Every time you do your damage phases, and if the primeval kills someone close to the bank, it heals the primeval. That keeps the healing the primeval phase. This means you need to be smart when you play your attack. And if your shield gets broken while you're there, so this stops things like bubble and well spam, while you're near the thing, that energy will go back into the primeval. And this will count on both teams. If the envoys kill you while you are attacking them, and you have damage on the primeval will gain a portion of your health back to it. Because that deals with the whole, well, a team can just go and melt. Not if they die. This really goes on the whole thing with gold coins. Not dying. And if, let's say, after a front with the primeval damage phase, the blocker that was sent, like the knight or the phalanx or the goblin, if they kill you, no matter where they are, if they kill you, it heals the primeval for a portion of its health, same as it would do for an invader. Kills one of you, a little bit of health. You know, let's say the health is like, you're at this part, you die near the bank from the primeval, it goes up a good bit. If you die to one of the blockers, it goes up a little bit. That's how it should work. Because it incentivizes you clearing the ads and not dying. Playing the objective smart and doing DPS. And figuring out which enemies you're going to fight. That is something that they need to add. Or they do this. They keep Gambit where it's at. With the invasions, whatever. Keep it where it's at. But if you have an invasion portal and you use it, the enemy team gets their portal at exactly the same time. You can only invade after another team has been invaded. So you can't chain, oh, well, I just invaded. I can rush back, camp the portal. Oh, look, I have another portal. Go through. The enemy team hasn't invaded yet. Even if let's say one team invades, and you wipe the entire enemy team, clear their bank, they have nothing. You just invaded. They get a portal. They can do the same. I think that balances out the invasions. The only problem with that is when a team is about to win, they just invaded. Oh, well, they didn't do much. We can DPS this down. We don't need to invade. Okay. At that point, they can invade. If you have your primeval up, and they don't have a portal, they get one. But portals are constantly regenning. Every time the invader comes back, a new portal comes up. That's what I say you do. Don't do any of this unnecessary shit. Do that. But here's the kicker. Here's the little change. The envoys won't be your damage pool anymore. It's not kill the envoys, go do damage. It's kill the envoys, stand in the pool. Because you want to know what? You can't run and hide to do great damage. You have to stand in the pool. And if you don't, well, sorry. Your damage is cut in half. That's what you should do. Bring back the pool. You want to see how well people can do? Fine. Put that in gambit. Do the invasion thing. You have things to do. Gambit can stay the same. But that's the change. Your other test? Bring back Prime. It'll be your competitive game mode for Gambit. With actual ranks like you do for Crucible. Teams of 4. They get portals. You give armor sets. It does something. That's all I'll say. It's in your court now, Bungie. You gotta do something with Gambit. It's sorely lacking. It's been lacking for 2 years now. It's been lacking since you combined the 2 game modes into one and then you changed things and then just made it worse. You have bugs in Gambit like the Invader who will spawn behind you after you clear out the front. You happen to be low on health. Oh, there's the Invader. Right behind you. Or, you're running to the point. Oh, the Invader's right in front of me. Oh, I'm trying to damage people. Here's the frickin' Invader. Right at my doorstep. I'm sorry, but there's something you have to do. You still have the motes that fall through the earth, which, whatever, you're never going to fix that. Okay. You have to be at a slight angle to pick it up, whatever. Who cares? Fine. If you want to make it harder for people to play it, go ahead. But change that Invader glitch. That's all I ask. Add something to Gambit. Give it a reason to be played. Heck, you can bring back the Gambit Prime weapons that can be unlocked through playing the competitive mode. You can still have your Gambit weapons that you have now, but if you go to Gambit Prime and do the competitive, you can earn the ability with a certain Gambit token, like you did the Nightfall Cipher, for that, where you can get a Soul Survivor, a Spare Rations, a Lonesome, a Last Man Standing. Whatever it is, you can unlock it and get it. Because that's what you need to do. You need to fix Gambit. You need to make it a game mode that people play again. And not a game mode people meme on because you leave it out of every single article you talk about. The entire time you talked about everything you're changing, the only Gambit change you made was you can now focus engrams to unlock previously equipped armor and get the weapons. Because we made focusing easier. And that's all you did. You didn't change anything about the game mode. You didn't change anything about anything else. You just did that, and that's what you did. Crucible. Well, we had fire team matchmaking. We had all this other stuff. But you didn't fix Gambit. Did all the stuff for Nightfalls and harder content, but Gambit kind of sits there in the corner like the redhead stepchild that you don't talk about because, well, you keep him underneath the fucking staircase. You have all these creators in your space that play Gambit, enjoy Gambit, use Gambit as a test ground for their build sometimes. People who call themselves the Gambit Queen, the Gambit Overlord, for fuck's sake. Here I fucking am. You have people that play Gambit with their community and they love it, and You got people who they play it because it's a fun game mode and they want to collab with other people, and it's like, yeah, we can have fun doing this. But you don't do much with it. I've come up with challenges to make Gambit fun, which this season it's going to be different. I'm not doing Clash or Clash of the Classes. I'm not doing the subclass shakeups in Gambit because I did it last season. That's how I tested them. And see, now we have 5 subclasses. I can do a number randomizer, picking between 1 to 5 to do my shakeups. Spin the wheel for the class, and here we freaking go. Heck, if I want to make that even more interesting, I can have the fucking subclass shakeup thing be included with Clash of the Classes. We spin the wheel for the class, and then we pick a random number, and that's the subclass we have to use. Makes me want to get Strand unlocked for all my other characters and buy all the meditations. That's the thing, Bungie. We need to get a handle on this game mode to make it fun. Because, let's be honest, it's not fun. I have people here, oh, Gambit? What's that? What's that game mode? Never heard of it before. I don't want to play that. It isn't fun. Let's just ignore all that. That's what you have with Gambit. You need to do something. And this isn't me trying to be like a dickhead and say, hey, do Gambit because I'm not having fun. Do Gambit because it's the only game mode that really offers the balance of all of your game modes. You got PvE. You have like specific class, like certain things you have to do to get a thing to happen, like with raids and stuff for nightfalls and strikes. Like, you have that aspect of it with the PvE, and then you have the instances of PvP with invasions. You have these, but you don't do anything with it. You let it sit in the corner like the puppy that you never want to talk about, that pooped on the floor at the family get-together. Do something with Gambit. Make it better. You've done all this stuff for Lightfall. Do something with Gambit. Make it something. I mean, heck, the next season is going to be called Season of the Deep. Can we learn more about the Deep? Heck, I think the 9 would be very interested. And what were the 9 connected with? Oh, Gambit. That's it. I'm done. I'm getting this video uploaded. And Gambit rant from the Overlord. That's what's happening. That's the name of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Just do something, please. Like, you do that for me, you never have to hear about me with Gambit unless I'm playing the game mode bitching about it, okay? I won't make another video unless it's talking about how much fun I'm having. Gotta do something with Gambit. Enough said. That's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll be live on Twitch on Sunday. We'll do more Lightfall stuff. We'll probably finally play PvP. There's just so many things I have to do PvE-wise with the light level grind and everything. So, sorry about that. But that being said, guys, I'll see you later.